So I have been using BeatMap for the last couple of weeks. It's dope, I love it, but I do have some ideas of some things Reason Studios could do that I think would improve the functionality and the overall experience of the player. Welcome to the video, guys. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, give it a like, and leave a comment. Let me know how you've been enjoying BeatMap in the new Reason update. I made a list. All right, first thing that I think BeatMap needs: loop options, or I don't know what it's called exactly, but if we bring in the drum sequencer player, for example, pattern options, maybe that's what it's called. Up here in the drum sequencer, we've got the option to have 8 different patterns. I don't understand why we don't get that in BeatMap. To me, it seems logical, right? That would allow you to use BeatMap to program different drum parts that you could then switch between via automation in your track. But not only that, if we had this option for different patterns in BeatMap, that would also allow you to have different learned keys on each pattern. So if you were using it to control, say, a drum rack in Ableton that has all of these different options of keys that can be controlled, you could have this BeatMap set up with patterns to control each of those groups of notes, which would give you an extremely flexible drum kit. So that's the first thing that I think BeatMap needs. The second thing that I think BeatMap needs is MIDI output or MIDI export in some capacity. Actually, this goes for drum sequencer as well. We have MIDI out now in Reason 11, which is awesome. I'm so pumped about that and I'm having heaps of fun with it. However, why don't we have the option to drag whatever pattern BeatMap is triggering onto our sequencer as MIDI, or to export as MIDI? Because at the moment, BeatMap will trigger something, a pattern, which is awesome, but if we don't like one hit in that pattern, we are stuck with it. We don't have the option to go into the MIDI data for that drum beat and remove the one hit that we don't like, that may be messing up an otherwise perfect drum take. I'm aware that you can still export MIDI data from BeatMap into other tracks in your DAW using the MIDI out tool. However, I'm talking about more of a drag and drop thing, so you could drag the pattern from BeatMap directly onto the track in your sequencer without having to actually record the MIDI out data onto a separate track. So you can kind of do this already. I'm gonna make a video about that later, but I think the overall way MIDI out is done in this capacity could be improved a little bit. The third thing that I think BeatMap needs is polyphony options. At the moment, you can't determine whether one or multiple drum hits trigger at the same time. If you're using an instrument that has polyphony options on it, then you can adjust it there. Like Dr. Octorex has polyphony options, and some of the synths, like Subtractor and stuff, have polyphony options. However, you don't have the option to change the polyphony on the player itself, which I think would be helpful, because you don't necessarily want the kick, the snare, the hi-hats playing at the same time. Even if we're just talking about programming drums, if you had the option on BeatMap to change the polyphony, that would give you far more options in terms of possible percussive or drum variations that you can make. That would be sick. But overall, I think BeatMap is an incredibly awesome player. What I love about it is the fact that you don't really know what is gonna come out of it, which I think is fantastic. With Drum Sequencer, you can see what there is, you can program stuff, like you know what you're gonna get. It's different. BeatMap is more of a random generative creative tool with this cool little interface, and you never know what you're gonna get. I have absolutely no idea what's gonna happen when I select different things on the map, or change the density knobs, or throw LFOs in to control the CV for the density knobs. But you just don't know, and I think that is an amazing thing. So I'm a massive fan of this new BeatMap player, but I do think there is still some room for improvement on it. It's awesome as it is, but after using it for a few weeks, I think if Reason Studios implemented some of these ideas, the player would go from being awesome to just out of this world awesome in terms of what you can use it for. But yeah, that is the video for this week, guys. If you've got any ideas about improvements that could be made to the BeatMap player, I'd love to hear them down in the comments. I've thought of a few things from my own experience using it, but if anyone else has got any dope ideas, let's talk about it. Let's get them flowing, and maybe Reason Studios will hear them and possibly look at implementing them. Anyway, that's the video, guys. I'll catch you next week.